All right, good morning. We're going to get started here on our toolbox talk for today, dealing with non-permit required confined spaces. And this is important because we do get into crawl spaces, those types of things. And so I just want to highlight a general overview and invite you to reach out to me so that we can fine tune your specific situation. So today we're going to talk about an introduction to confined space. We're going to talk about the hazards in confined space, talking about safety measures, the best practices, our training, and trying to develop some skills. We'll look at a couple of real world applications and some case studies. But today, the definition and the characteristics of a confined space, it has limited access points for entry and exit. It makes movement a little bit more difficult and can pose some safety risk. They may also have some hazardous atmospheres, and it's important to be able to work our way through that. Some of the confined spaces that we encounter are crawl spaces. This is really the largest risk that we have as an enterprise. That little short space underneath a building where they're running electrical work, plumbing work, it provides us with a variety of different risks. So a non-permit required confined space is typically considered to be safer, and you don't need a permit for entry. This permit isn't something where we go to a local municipality for. This is an issued permit by us, Stepaway Enterprises. As we talk about confined space in the next several weeks, I'll share with you what that looks like, and we'll talk our way through it. This requires a lot more heavy-handed management, those types of things for us to work together to do this not only correctly on regulations, but safely. We want you to go home just as healthy as you came to us at work. So permit required spaces, they have additional hazards. They have a problem with the atmosphere. They may have a problem with temperature or fluid, those types of things. And so you give me a call, we'll work our way through that together. But the hazards that we encounter in confined spaces, limited access issues, this makes a larger risk for emergencies, making getting out of that confined space a little bit more difficult and a little bit more dangerous. The limited entry and exit also heightens the possibility of slip, trips, and falls. And this is why we're beginning the conversation on non-permit confined spaces, trying to determine, do we need a permit or not? This requires proper planning and your awareness and my awareness. Some of the environmental hazards are poor ventilation. We can have environments where the oxygen levels are reduced. We can measure for that. Maintaining good air quality is absolutely important. Plumbers have to assess different area ventilation and air quality. We want to make sure that this is available before getting into the confined space. In confined spaces, you can also have chemical exposure risks, some toxic fumes, biological hazards, which include sewers. This is part of our business model, and we're going to talk about some safety measures here. Before we go into a confined space, we need to evaluate that space for potential hazards before you go in there. We want to make sure that the ventilation is correct if it needs it. That requires some special equipment, and we want to conduct some atmosphere testing. The use of protective equipment is always on the bottom tier on how we protect you. We try to introduce some training. We try to provide you with all of the PPE that's required. We have a list that we provide you when you start. The reason I say try is because it's up to you if that equipment gets worn out to let us know so we can make sure that you have working PPE. This includes a hard hat, the right kind of gloves, maybe an N95 respirator or something else. That'll be determined based on the exact risks that your confined space is posing. PPE is absolutely vital to helping us manage the risk for you to go in there. We want to have an emergency plan. What happens if you um, have a nervous breakdown or something like that? How are we going to get you out of there? This all needs to be figured out before you go into a confined space. We want to make sure that our communication methods with you is going to work. It's going to be effective, and you have the right kind of training, the right kind of awareness to make you a little bit more confident and comfortable. The importance of what we're talking about, I know we're just introducing this topic. It helps you identify and understand specific risks. Also, on the safety compliance, it ensures that we're complying with the regulations. I prefer to have our standards higher than the minimum because you guys are that important to our enterprise. Training also, it gives you an enhanced confidence because you have knowledge now and you have an understanding of what all goes into a confined space. So basically, we have two types, non-permittable and permittable. We're talking about just the introduction to non-permittable. And if you find yourself in a confined space, please reach out to me. It's important that you know what the hazards are. What kind of atmosphere are you going into? Is there raw sewage? What's the oxygen level? I want to help you put that plan together. What are the emergency procedures? Um, the person standing outside, are they able to communicate with you? Are we able to get you out in the case of worst case and scenario? Are you going into it safely? Do we have a plan to get you out of it safely? Are you using the right personal protective equipment? Our continued education through these toolbox talks are really important because we want you to continue to remain informed. Our regular training sessions, toolbox talk, they're essential for enhancing your skill set. Skill improvement is crucial for making sure that you are equipped to handle confined space challenges effectively and safely. Hazardous situations, they provide a unique challenge for us as plumbers. They have risks like poor ventilation, um, a risk of entrapment because your area to get in and to get out of is limited. We want to make sure that we're documenting these types of things so that we can make it better as we progress through time, make it more safe, increase our standards for regulations, and to be able to identify the areas that we need to improve on. I took some training 2 weeks ago. For months now, I have known that this is a weak point for us in this enterprise. And now that I have some basic understanding, I'm going to take a couple more classes to help us improve in this area. Safety practices are absolutely important. We want to prevent all accidents. We want to make sure that it's safe for you. We want to make sure that we're learning and constantly developing and making it better. Better means safer for you. I want to continue to cultivate a mindset of prevention, of being proactive, focused on preparation, focus on prevention. And so we want to be able to mitigate risk, follow the safety protocols. We want to constantly do regular training. We want to enhance our safety culture. So this is an introduction to confined spaces. Typically, going into crawl space is where this applies to us, whether it's under a trailer, under a home that has a block around it, understanding what those hazards are, implementing safety specific measures for your job, and committing to making an ongoing commitment to this. So at this time, I'm going to turn this over to the general manager. Be safe out there.